Hello, my name is Aloysius, and I am one of the team members of Team 17. Today I'll be recording this presentation video about our game. So, for starters, you can see that this is my own phone that I'm screen mirroring into Android Studios. So for now I'll delete our game, I'll uninstall our game so I can get a fresh install later. Okay, for now let me first talk about a bit about architecture. For our game architecture, we are using inheritance and interface to standardize all game objects on updates. So you can see here, this is our base game object class. From this class, we then inherit, let all other game objects inherit. So an example of this would be the player, which inherits from the game object main class. For rendering, we are using OpenGL. So here we have our GL surface view as well as our GL surface view renderer. We have also added a resource manager so as to be able to properly manage the resources, such as the textures and the mesh. This is our vertex shader code and this is our fragment shader code, which allows us to render textured 3D objects, which is what we are rendering for our game. After that, I'll talk a bit about the database. For the database, we have two tables, one for keeping the score and date and time when it occurs in the game. Later, you will see why. And a second table to keep track of the more detailed information of the session. Okay, now that all that's out of the way, let me jump straight into the gameplay. So as I said before, I'm mirroring my own phone into Android Studios, so I'll just run the game. Okay, so now the game is running. Those are our splash screens, and now we are showing our main screen of the game. For the purpose of this presentation, I'll be controlling with my phone by touching my phone. So you will not see the mouse move, but there will be things happening on the screen. So first, let me bring you through the settings bar. So settings bar here, we have our audio settings. Here you can see we can slide and toggle the master volume, the music, as well as effects. Let's bring the music down a bit. Here you also are able to reset the data. Right? When you reset the data, you'll be able to clear the previous high scores and include your own high scores when you play the game. Okay, over here is our high score leaderboard. Currently it's empty because this is a fresh install of the game, so the database is empty as well. This is what we'll read from the database and show your high score. Okay, now let me go into the game. So you can see here in the game, we have our 3D model player as he's flying around and shooting. These are two different types of enemies. The kamikaze enemy, which is your triangle shaped ships, and your normal shooting enemies. So your big ships in the back. The enemies and projectiles, such as bullets, are all pooled together and will slowly get stronger the longer you run the level. Our game is an endless shooter, and basically your goal is to survive as long as possible and accumulate as many points as possible. When you take damage, as you saw just now, your player will flash red. So now let me just play a bit of the game. Okay, as you can see, the enemies are taking more and more bullets to kill. And I just died. When you die, there's also an explosion. So this is our game over screen. You can see here the score you obtained, as well as number of kills and how long you lasted. Okay. Then by clicking this button over here, the reset button, will take you back out to the main menu. But now your score is recorded in the high score along with the date and the time that you achieved this score. Okay. Now I'll show you the reset data function. So now we're going to reset all the data because I didn't like that high score. So now that I've reset the data, now the high score is empty again and I can replay again. Obviously, I could play with multiple scores. It's just that I wouldn't attain the high score anymore. Okay, that's the end of our presentation. Thank you so much.